Monsieur le Président, nous sommes...
Court officer, we are in open session, Your Honor.
Mr. Ken, see you putting on your robe.
I'm grateful. Mr. Witness, I'm going to move to another topic.
Witness, again, we've resumed. We are still in open session. I know we've gone in and out of open and private session. Please do not be confused when we do that. One where you can remind yourself is in front of you. You do see a contraption there with light. Right now it's showing red. Can you look beyond the microphone? You see the light? It's like an incomplete traffic light. When it's red, it means we're in open session. Red means be careful what you say. And when it's green, that's we're in private session. When the light is green, means we're in private session, so you can speak freely. So it is now red, means we're in open session. Always keep that in mind. Again, the point is not to stop you speaking the truth. Please do testify to the best of your ability. And if there's any information you feel might be best given in private session, you can also indicate it so we can note what's worrying you and whether we can do that in private session. Ms. Khan, please proceed.
I'm grateful, Mr. President, and Your Honours. Witness, on the first day of your evidence before this court, on the 7th of October, you spoke about attending a rally in Kitale. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And you said that rally was at the beginning of, or early December 2007, is that correct?
Yes.
And you placed it because there was a death of an ODM aspirant at the same time. There was a funeral for an ODM aspirant at the same time. Is that right?
Yes.
And you told the court, Mr. Witness, that at that rally you heard Mr. Ruto say this, and I will read it. It's page 89 of the transcript. Mr. Ruto said, let the people of the Rift Valley vote for ODM because ODM is the party with a good manifesto. It's the party which is going to deliver truthful leadership. It is the party which is going to solve people's problems, which people have faced for a long time. And it is time for them to have relief, and more so for the landless people. It's a time they are also going to be given their piece of land. It's a time where the era of hyenas, you later clarified, I believe, for those people, or hyenas, for those people who get a big piece of land has to be returned so the landless can be resettled. And he welcomed ODM members in that area. Then later he gave the flag bearer the podium to talk. Do you remember saying that, Mr. Witness?
Yes, I do.
And you remember saying that took place at Kitale, is that right?
Yes.
And in fact it took place at the Kenyatta Stadium in Kitale, is that right?
I never mentioned the name of the stadium.
Do you know the name of the stadium, Witness? Or do you not know?
I can take the geographical area. It was in Kitale. Yeah. but
it
I'm
was
not certain about the name of the stadium.
it was a large area outdoors. Is that right?
Yes,
And it was the main event in Kitale that day because there were 1 million people present. You said, is that correct?
yes, there were people, many.
You said in your evidence that you estimated there were maybe 1 million people present. Is that right or not? And witness, that was according to your evidence, that's the only time you ever heard, allegedly, Mr. Ruto use the word hyenas. Is that right? It was in Kitale.
During that Kitale rally,
Yes. And you didn't hear him use that word apart from at Kitale rally. Is that right?
I was specific about the rally. I attended that one in Kitale.
Witness, did you ever hear, you never heard any other speech, did you? Any other talk on your own account where Mr. Ruto used the word hyena? Is that right or is that wrong?
Mr. Khan, 1 second. Are you putting a fresh proposition to him that it is the case that Mr. Ruto may not have used that or would not have used the expression hyena at any other event? Or are you saying that according to the witness, that was the only time Mr. Ruto had used the expression? There's a difference.
Your Honor, I'll put it more simply. Witness, so you know, we deny Mr. Ruto ever said any such thing at all at Kitale. But are you saying that apart from Kitale, you heard Mr. Ruto use such language on other occasions, or is that the only time you recall him using that phrase?
I'm talking about the time I attended the rally in Kitale, where I was one of the speakers.
I'm grateful. Witness, very simple question. Did you ever hear Mr. Ruto use that phrase in any other rally you attended? Yes or no?
Yes,
And where was that, witness?
there was also a rally at Uhuru Park.
And you're saying that he used that phrase in Uhuru Park. Is that right? He used that word hyena in Uhuru Park. Is that correct?
I'm not certain.
Could you ponder over the question that I asked a moment ago, witness? I asked, apart from the event in Kitale, did you ever hear William Ruto use the word hyena at any other rally you attended? What is a truthful answer, witness?
I had him for the rally of Kitale.
And in regards to Uhuru Park, did you hear him or you didn't hear him? Use that word. Did you hear him use the word hyena or did you not hear him use that word hyena?
I can't recall because it's a long time, and maybe
Okay, witness, I'll come to that in a moment. You're very clear in your evidence that the meeting you attended in Uhuru Park was the very last ODM campaign rally of the election. Is that right? Your Honour, that's page 80 of the transcript of day one.
Yes.
And, Your Honour, from page 80 onwards, you mention a few times, Mr. Witness, that that was the last campaign rally of the ODM in the 2007 election. Do you remember saying that under oath? The very last campaign rally of the ODM?
Yes.
Witness, are you aware that the only campaign rally that took place in Uhuru Park in the month of December 2007 was for the PNU on the 24th of December 2007 and for the ODMK on the 23rd of December 2007? Are you aware of that? There was no ODM rally in December in Uhuru Park.
There was ODM rally in Uhuru Park.
Your Honour, I'd refer the bench to tab 22 and I'd ask that Ken D09-0020-0006 be put on the screen. And witness, if you can see what's on the screen. And before that's done, perhaps, let me ask this question. What would you say if I told you that the last ODM rally in 2007 was at the Nyayo Stadium, the Nyayo National Stadium? That was the location of the last ODM rally of 2007. Would I be right or would I be wrong?
You are wrong, but there were rallies in Nairobi.
If I put it to you, witness, that the last ODM rally was in Nyayo Stadium, I'd be wrong. Is that right?
The last ODM rally was in Uhuru Park.
Your Honour, now I'd ask that the document be put on the screen, please. Ken D09-0020-0006. And witness, if you can look at that document, you'll see it's from the Daily Nation. It's dated Tuesday, December the 25th, 2007, so it's on Christmas Day. Below the heading, it says 2 days to election. Now the choice is yours. Can you read that, witness? And it says, after 2 months of intense campaigns, top contenders in the State House race hold final rallies in the city. Can you read that? You can read that? Now, if you go to the picture on the right, it's a picture of Raila Odinga acknowledging the crowd or waving to the crowd. It can be made bigger with the assistance of the court officer. You will see that the caption to that photograph is that ODM presidential candidate Raila Odinga flashes, in fact, a yellow card, which he said was the warning voters gave his rival during the 2005 referendum. Mr. Odinga later flashed a red card symbolizing his intention to unseat the president during Thursday's elections. The next bit is the important bit, witness. He was addressing ODM's last rally at the Nyayo National Stadium in Nairobi yesterday. Could you read that? The last rally at Nyayo National Stadium yesterday. Can you read that?
Yes, I'm reading this.
Now, lest there be any misunderstanding, I want to, before I put questions, go to another document, which is tab 23, Your Honour. And Your Honour, perhaps before it's changed, in fact, I'm directed to read, because I'm trying to not take too much time. The photograph under President Kibaki. President Kibaki acknowledges greetings from the crowd as he arrived at Uhuru Park in Nairobi, where he held his last campaign rally yesterday. That's the 24th of December. He criticised his opponent's development record, saying there was nothing to show for the years they had been in government. Can you see that, witness? So this newspaper says that on the 24th of December, there was a PNU rally, the last one, held by President Kibaki and the PNU at Uhuru Park. You can see that. Yes? What did he say? Okay. And I'm grateful. Then if we could go to Ken D09-0020-0008. And Mr. President, on your honours, it's at tab 23 of the bundle that you have before you.
Are you done with?
Yes, indeed. The other one could be,
22?
indeed, Your Honour. I'd be grateful if the other one could be taken off the screen and replaced with Ken D09-0020-0008.
But shouldn't you pose a question to the witness after showing what appears at tab 22?
Well, Your Honour, I was going to put the questions together after seeing both documents, but I can do it now. Witness.
It's up to you. Sorry, if you're going to do it later,
Yes, Your Honour,
you may do it in your own time.
I'm grateful. If the new document could be put on the screen, I'd be grateful. And if we made it a little bit larger, and witness, you'll see this is again the front page of the Daily Nation from Nairobi, printed in Nairobi, Monday, December the 24th, 2007. Underneath the date, 3 days to election, is headed Last Minute Pledges. And it says in the headline, Kalonzo promises prosperity as he winds up campaign with the city rally. Importantly, Kibaki and Raila hold parallel meetings today. Can you see that? Now, if you look at the first paragraph, and I'll read it, the journalists David Mugonya and Jeff Otieno report in The Nation that the curtain falls on election campaigns today, with the two leading presidential candidates holding their final rallies in Nairobi. President Kibaki of PNU is expected to address a rally at Uhuru Park, while his main challenger, ODM's Raila Odinga, will be at the Nyayo National Stadium about 2 kilometres away. Can you read that? Okay. Now, witness, if you go under the photograph, there's a caption between the 3 photographs on the front page of the Daily Nation of the 24th of December 2007, and you'll see this caption: ODM-K presidential candidates Kalonzo Musyoka above addresses supporters during his last campaign rally at Nairobi's Uhuru Park yesterday. That's the 23rd of December. Left, President Kibaki greets PNU supporters in Malindi Town, where he took campaigns to the coast, and so on. You've seen that article now.
Yes, I've seen.
So seeing these articles and these news reports, I am asking you to recall whether or not now it refreshes your memory and that in fact you accept you were wrong when you say that the last ODM rally in Nairobi, the last ODM rally was in Uhuru Park in December 2007. Do you change your testimony before this court?
I said our last rally at Uhuru Park, the ODM rally at Uhuru Park.
What date was that again? In your testimony, witness, you said the last rally was at Uhuru Park. Do we recall the date he put?
Your Honour, the witness can help actually on that. It'd be useful to get it again. He said at the end of December, but...
Your Honour, there was no precise dates, and that's my recollection. We should be fair to him.
Please proceed, Mr. Khan.
Yes. Witness, you said in your evidence that that rally was in December 2007. Is that right?
Yes.
And you said in evidence that that rally came after the Kitale rally, which was in the earlier part of December. Is that right?
Yes.
Your Honour, I'd ask to show a video Ken-D09-0020-0005. And witness, you will be watching a video of the only ODM rally in Uhuru Park in that election campaign, and it was in October, the 6th of October 2007. And Your Honour, if that could be played. Your Honour, the transcript's at tab 21 for the bench's information, and if a copy of the transcript, and for my learned friend, Mr. Omafadi, thank you so much. It's Ken D09-0020-0016. So my learned friend can also follow the transcript of what's being played.
Monsieur le Président, avec votre permission.
The court officer, Your Honor, with your leave. This video is currently classified as confidential in the e-court system. I suppose it could be reclassified as public. I await your instructions.
Mr. President, Your Honours, it's a defence document, and I'd ask it should be public, and I'd ask that it be reclassified. If it's currently classified as confidential, it was broadcast all over Kenya.
Prosecutor, I take it you see no issue with that?
I don't, Your Honour.
We will play the video and the necessary reclassification will be done later.
And for the assistance of the court officer for the information, I would ask that it be played until the expiration of 6 minutes.
Mr. Khan, I see an inscription on the screen right now before the video starts playing. Let's say 610-2007. Who put that inscription there?
Your Honour, that doesn't appear from the... we got it like this, from the media house. And Your Honour, we'll lead evidence in due course that that's the only ODM rally that took place in 2007 during the election campaign.
No, it's not about... it's not an extended discussion. I just want to know for the record, because we will be using this, we'll be evaluating the evidence eventually.
Your Honour, that comes from the media house, and I believe that was not broadcast in Kenya. Once it starts, that's the portion that was broadcast.
I take it that that's the same with the last video we saw, where there was an introductory inscription also from the media house?
Indeed.
All right.
I'm grateful.
Basi, wana ODM hamjambo. Wana ODM hamjambo. Wana ODM, Bwana asifiwe. Wana ODM, assalamu alaikum. God is good all the time. God is good all the time. Nataka niseme hivi. Nataka tusikizane. Tuko pamoja? Hebu tusalamiane hewani nione kama tuko pamoja. Haya. Na wale mko nyuma huko? Sawa sawa. Niko na taarifa hapa ya ODM. Niko na hapa taarifa ya ODM ambayo nimekabidhiwa jukumu la kusoma. Lakini kabla sijasoma, nataka niseme mambo mawili. Tuko pamoja? Najua wengi wenu mnajua ya kwamba kuna watu walijaribu ati kutupiga na mshale, sijui na panga, sijui na upinde. Si namna hiyo? Na mimi nataka niwajulishe hivi. Nataka niwaambie sisi kama wana ODM tulisema tunawasamehe. Si namna hiyo? Na tunawaambia ya kwamba tuko na silaha kali yenye inashinda panga, yenye inashinda upinde, yenye inashinda mshale. Na hiyo silaha yetu ni kura. Mwaka huu tutawaonyesha cha mtema kuni. Tuko pamoja? Jambo la pili, wale wapinzani wetu walikwenda kule wakatutusi. Si namna hiyo? Vile vile tunasema tunawasamehe. Si namna hiyo? Sio ya kwamba tumeshindwa kuwatusi ama hatuna vile ya kuwatusi, lakini tunawasamehe kwa sababu kuna msemo inasema usigombane na mtu mwenye akili ndogo. Watu watashangaa ni nani kati yenu amepungukiwa na akili. Si namna hiyo? Kwa hivyo tunawasamehe. Si namna hiyo? Ya tatu, mimi nataka niwaambie vile vile, mimi nimekuwa katibu mkuu wa chama. Si namna hiyo? Na nilitoa ahadi ya kwamba kama chama cha KANU itajiondoa kutoka ODM, mimi nitajiuzulu kama katibu mkuu. Na kwa sababu ahadi ni deni, katika uwanja wa Uhuru Park, mimi natangaza ya kwamba nimejiondoa kama katibu mkuu wa chama cha KANU. Na mimi nasema hivi kwa sababu chama cha KANU tuliambiwa hapo mbeleni iko na wenyewe. Jumamosi iliyopita tuliwaona wenyewe walikuja kule Kasarani wakahama na chama chao, na sisi tukasema Mungu asifiwe kwa sababu ametupatia ODM. Today we come before you, the people of Kenya, in this historic Uhuru Park as the Orange Democratic Movement to ask for your votes to elect Raila Amolo Odinga, the 4th President of the Republic of Kenya, and to elect the first ever ODM government. We in the Orange Democratic Movement believe that Kenya is a great country whose people have tremendous potential. If our competitors accuse us of euphoria, that we are a party of euphoria, if the passion I see in this park, the passion of Kenyans to be party and to participate in deciding their destiny is what is called euphoria, then we are truly guilty. And I want to tell them, and we want to tell our competitors, there is a saying, tunaelewana? There is a saying which says that a society of sheep must in time beget a government of wolves. We do not want to be a society of sheep. That is why we have to participate in shaping the destiny of this country. And if that is what is called euphoria, then we are truly guilty.
Witness, you've seen that video now. Is that in fact the video you attended? Is that in fact the rally you attended, which was the opening rally of the ODM political campaign in 2007? Could it have been this one, witness?
This might be one, is one of them, and there was another one.
Witness, you see, what I'm putting to you, is it possible you confused, you heard in English, Mr. Ruto mention wolves and sheep. Is it possible you confused hyenas with the wolves that are mentioned in the English segment of his speech? Is that possible?
Add on your question.
Is it possible, witness, now that I've refreshed your memory with a video of the only ODM rally at Uhuru Park?
No. The witness has not accepted that that is the only ODM rally at Uhuru Park. You may put that proposition to him, but so far he has not accepted it. So let's...
Witness, let me put it like this in that case. Is it possible that you have confused yourself and said Mr. Ruto mentioned hyenas when in fact the wildlife that he mentioned were wolves? Is that possible that you confused yourself? And what you recollected is exactly what was said in this video?
What has been said in this video is the word wolves.
So you're maintaining that the word the word hyenas was uttered by Mr. Ruto?
From this video, the video you played, he has used the word wolf.
From the rally you say you attended, let me re-put that. Do you still maintain, after seeing this video and seeing the various newspaper articles that we've shown you, that there was still a further ODM rally in December 2007?
You mean at Uhuru Park?
At Uhuru Park. I did.
There were some other rallies. This was not the only rally which was conducted by ODM at Uhuru Park.
Council, permit me to interject one question here. Witness, you and council have been discussing use of words, hyenas. Now, you've seen this video, and we also know that sections of the speech were in Kiswahili, it seemed. In the Kiswahili part of the speech, does the term hyena appear?
The word wolf has appeared in English version.
But what about in the Swahili version? Did you hear the word hyena used?
No?
Thank you. Council, please proceed.
And Your Honour, just in relation to the question that was posed from the bench regarding the date, I refer the court and the record to the evidence of the witness of the 7th of October 2013, page 74, lines 10 to 18, when the witness said that the rally he attended at Uhuru Park was immediately before voting day.
I recalled that, but I wanted to be sure whether there was a specific date put to it.
Right, the evidence is as it is.
That's the extent of it. Okay.
Yes. Witness, because I don't want there to be confusion about this, because the final ODM rally, as you've seen from the newspapers, was at Nyayo Stadium on the 24th of December. That was the last ODM rally, and the court will see further evidence in due course. But I want you to listen to that and see maybe if something was said there that will trigger your memory. And Your Honour, I would ask to play Ken-D09-0020-0009, and I'd ask that the court officer be so kind as to stop at 7.47. And Your Honour, the transcript is transcript 25, tab 25. And the reference is Ken D09-0020-0031.
Monsieur le Président.
Mr. President, once again, this video is classified as confidential, but I imagine that it can be played in open session.
Well, if it played in open session, public session, and also be reclassified if that's necessary. I'm grateful.
We will proceed. We will proceed accordingly.
Tumemaliza. Sasa tukaribishe kijana chipukizi William Ruto. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come here as ODM before you, the people of Kenya, to make our final submission and to ask for your vote. We have come here in humility because we believe
Can we pause? Did you lose the audio? You lost it as well. All right. Prosecutor, you lost it, I take it as well.
We lost it as well.
Monsieur le Président, il semblerait...
Mr. President, it would appear that this is a problem which arises even with the original. There is no audio sound at this spot of the video in the original document, in the original video. We could replay the video and see what happens, but as of now, we are playing this video as we have it in the e-court system.
Your Honor, maybe we can try again. I've listened to, of course, to the original that was we gave, and it's got sound throughout.
Strong sound.
Yes,
throughout.
very, very clear. Very clear.
Mr. Ken, is it possible for you to proceed and return to this later? So we don't...
Your Honor, it will not make the cross-examination that coherent, so I'd ask that, I know it's inconvenient, but if we can just try perhaps one more time and see if we get sound. Second time lucky.
Perhaps if we restarted the video, whatever the computer system in there, restarted the thing, it might work. I don't know. Just suggesting.
Mr. President. Perhaps to occupy the time, Your Honour asked a question earlier as regards whether a precise date was placed on the rally in December. My friend Mr. Khan kindly pointed directed the chamber to page 74 of the transcript. But I recall there was a bit of a discourse on this issue, and Mr. Khan asked whether it was immediately before the voting day. And then I posed the following series of questions to the witness. And just for the completeness of the record, perhaps this ought to be there. I referred to page 75 of the 7th of October transcript, and this is when I asked him, I said, when you said just before voting, do you mean the day of voting, or do you mean days, or the day before voting? And the witness responded, it was when we were nearing the voting day. Question, do you remember exactly how many days before voting? If you don't remember, please don't hazard a guess. He says, no, it's a long time. And then I asked, and just for the sake of clarity, you have said you recall it to be the last rally before the elections. Do you remember if it was a few days, a few weeks before the election day? It was a few days, and I believe that's more accurate than immediately before voting day.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. And the video seems to be up on the display. Hopefully we'll get better luck this time. Can we play it again? Mr. Khan, you will have to move on, and then during the break, we will. You might actually also assist the technicians to see if you.
Haya, tumemaliza.
We have to move on. We have to move on.
Witness, we'll come back to that. There's been technical difficulties, so I will show you that hopefully after the break. But you were very clear. In fact, you said, I believe, to the prosecution, you were certain about your evidence regarding the Kitale rally that you attended. Is that right? And your evidence, transcript page 7th of October 2013, was that William Ruto spoke at that rally in Kitale. Do you remember? Can I see the transcript? Sorry, could you move a little bit closer to the microphone, because it wasn't recorded. Let me put my question again. You told the prosecution, told the court, I should say, on the 7th of October 2013, the first day you gave evidence, that you attended a rally in Kitale where there were 1 million people or thereabouts in attendance. Do you remember saying that?
I do.
And that was the rally where you said that there was a mention of hyenas. Do you remember? You said it was there that William Ruto said it's a time where the era of hyenas for those people who get a big piece of land has to be returned. Do you remember?
I remember.
And knowing the importance of your evidence, and that this is a criminal trial and it's important to be accurate so that the judges can do justice in this case, are you clear in your recollection that William Ruto spoke at Kitale and said those words?
Yes.
No hesitation at all about whether or not you're right?
He talked at the rally.
Your Honour, I would ask to play Ken D09-0020-0021 and it's at tab 24, which, Your Honour, what we're relying upon, in fact, is the video and what he said in English on the live broadcast, or on the broadcast that was made. And if that could be played. And it's, for my learned friend, the prosecution, it's Ken D09-0020-0155. And Your Honour will pay attention, no doubt, on the bench to the reference to the burial of an activist. Once again, it's public.
ODM brigade pressed with its tour of the North Rift region as Raila was joined by Pentagon members who had camped in the region as their chief traversed Kisii and Kuria. The leaders paid a courtesy call to an ODM candidate who fell victim to the Mount Elgon clashes. Raila promised Mount Elgon residents that his government would ensure that the areas that lagged behind would benefit from development funds.
I wish to appeal personally today to all the communities in that area who have suffered and been denied their human rights to stop fighting. I can understand how people get desperate when they lose hope, but the answer is not conflict.
He also promised that his government would establish a university. His entourage then snaked its way to Lugari to attend the burial of the late Ali Sundutu, who was killed in Nairobi last weekend by gunmen. The climax of the ODM tour was a public rally at the Kenyatta Stadium in Kitale.
Walipokuwa wanapigania uhuru walisema tunataka kumaliza adui nne ya binadamu ambayo ni ugonjwa, ujinga, umaskini na utawala mbaya. Ndio matibabu. Lakini baada ya miaka 44 wale maadui wamepata nguvu zaidi.
Here Raila revisited his pet subject of a devolved system of government.
Hiyo ni inaitwa ugatuzi au majimbo kwa jina lingine. Kenya hii imetawaliwa kwa Nairobi. Kila mara nyinyi mnatoa ushuru kila mara. Kila siku ushuru unatolewa hapa na Nairobi.
However, the ODM Pentagon members who had accompanied him did not get a chance to address the rally due to heavy rains. Yesterday, they were in Kapenguria to drum up support for Raila.
Witness, you never attended the Kitale rally at all, did you?
I attended.
Or you would have known that the only person that spoke was Raila Odinga, and that Mr. William Ruto did not speak at all.
According to what has been displayed, but It's only about Raila.
Witness, I'm putting it to you that you are trying to deceive this court. Be very clear what I'm saying. I put it to you, you're trying to deceive this court, knowingly, when you say under oath that William Ruto spoke at the rally in Kitale and that you attended the rally in Kitale because, as we've seen, he didn't speak at all. What do you have to say about that?
I attended the rally in Kitale.
Are you aware, witness, that the majority of voters in Kitale, in Trans Nzoia, are Luyas? They're in the majority. Are you aware of that?
Not gone deep to know the number of people.
Are you aware that in the 2007 elections, Kalenjin, only one member of parliament who was Kalenjin got a seat in that region, and 2 MPs from the Luya community were elected? Were you aware of that?
Yes, I'm aware, but they were elected with ODM ticket.
And you deny that you're deceiving the court when you say you actually went to Kitale on that, for that rally?
I went for this rally.
Your Honour, I'll move on. I'll say no more about this topic for the moment.
Witness, I know that you've been on the witness stand for quite some time. We understand that, but you have to lean forward when you're speaking to the microphone, because everything you say is important. Needs to be recorded on the transcript. Thank you.
Your Honour, because of the technical difficulties, I'll have to move away from the issue of rallies and come back to it later. Your Honour, I will go now to another issue.
Does it mean you have more videos to play, or is it just the one remaining that we lost, that we didn't have the sound?
The one remaining
track
on this topic, and perhaps before I move, with the court's permission, I would ask that we give exhibit numbers to the items that have been shown, and at least mark them for identification.
Including the one with the challenges with the audio.
I think the one that's challenged, well, Your Honour, it can be marked for identification now, but probably the better way of doing it is once the technical issues have been sorted out, we can mark it for identification. But it was played in court, so strictly speaking, it should be marked for identification, but I'm in the court's hands.
Prosecutor, any objection?
Well, Mr. Khan did ask for exhibit numbers to be assigned and then said to be marked for identification. We restrict this to being marked for identification. There's no way of evaluating whether we have the complete coverage of these rallies in the video clips that have been shown. So at the very most, at the height, these should be marked for identification. As regards the last, the clip that was problematic, what I would suggest is that we endure for the time being and see if the efforts to rectify matters can be performed. If not, then identification as well.
Mr. President, I appreciate the technical problems that have arisen. I just want to say that I'm starting to get desperate for time, Mr. President. I'm saying this just in case we have to come back to it, and if it affects the time that I was expecting to use, which was in some 2 hours, and I had indicated the prosecution. That's approximately the time I need.
Fair enough. The matter now, Mr. Mofade, if we are going to mark them for identification, we should do that all through, including the clip with the defective audio. There's no harm in marking it for identification, subject to further use later, see what use, if any, can be made of it.
Well, this is the difficulty. I don't know if my friend will end up relying on it.
But if he does, we know what happened. This, what I mean by we know what happened is that he did not have an audio we could look at, so he cannot rely on an audio we did not hear.
Your Honours, I don't have any strong views on this. For identification, it's fine.
And for accuracy, there was audio which then stopped. But, Your Honour, perhaps we can just move on instead of spending precious time. And I'm happy. In fact, according to the prosecution's own stance, the public broadcast should be exhibited. But, Your Honour, for the time being, and just not to spend time, they can be MFI'd, and we can seek to tender them later.
We will mark all of them for identification.
Your Honor, also the two media press articles that were presented?
Yes, that's Ken D09-0020-0021 and Ken D09-0020-0155. Sorry, they're the videos. And then the news articles, Ken D09-0020-0006 and Ken D09-0020-0008.
Now, the court officer's question is, will all of them be marked for ID, or will the newspaper articles be treated differently?
Well, Your Honour, all public, the newspaper articles should actually be exhibited. Would be the correct position, consistent with the prosecution's own policy. And Your Honour, when it comes, if I can finish, please, sorry. When it comes to issues, so we don't spend time in the future, all parties will exhibit documents. The probative value and the weight of those documents will be decided by the bench at a later stage. So, of course, it's without prejudice to the prosecution seeking to advance evidence to rebut them or other comment on them. But, Your Honour, on the issue of admissibility, the conditions must be quite narrow. It's relevant and probative. And, Your Honour, as we say that these news articles should be exhibited.
I take it Mr. Omofade was not going to object.
We could have short-circuited that.
So the court officer, the newspaper articles would be admitted as exhibit next in the series for the Ruto defense, and only the videos will be marked for identification. The videos and their transcripts, that's correct, marked for identification.
Oui, Monsieur le Président.
The court officer, yes, Your Honor. Document Ken D09-0020-0006 shall bear the following number, EVDT D09-00036, and will be referenced as Exhibit 36 from the Ruto defense team. Document Ken D09-00020-0008 will bear the number D09-0037 and shall be known as Exhibit 37 from the Ruto defense team. Document Ken D09-0020-0005 shall bear the number EVD T D09-00038, referenced as Exhibit 38 from the Ruto defense team. Ken D09-0020-0016 will be given the number D09-00039, Exhibit 39 from the Ruto defense team. Video Ken D09 0020 0009 will be given number MFI T09 00040. Transcript Ken D09 0020 0031 will be given the number MFI T D09 00041. Video Ken D09 0020 0021 will be given the number MFI T D09 0042. And transcript Ken D09 0020 0155 will be given the number MFI T D09 00043. All these documents, videos, and transcripts are public items, and all the videos shall be marked for identification, namely given MRI numbers, and any discrepancies shall be corrected at a later date.
Thank you.
Mr. President, it may be an error, but lines 27 and 28 of the transcript appear to have the first video clip that ends in 0005 appears to have it as bearing an exhibit number rather than an MFI number. I don't know if this is what the court officer did say.
The one bearing exhibit 38?
That's the one, Your Honor.
Monsieur le Président.
The court officer, Your Honor. Document, or rather video Ken D09 0020 0005 will be given the number MFI T D09 00038.
The correction is now made. Thank you.
I'm grateful. I'll move on to another issue, and the final issue of my cross-examination, subject to coming back for a few minutes for the video, with the court's leave. Witness, you gave evidence.
Mr. Kent, so you will be able to wrap it up in 16, 17 minutes.
Your Honor, I'll do my level best. I'll do my level best. Your Honor, it may be that I go after lunch, but if I go after lunch, and I'll discuss with my London friend at the break, but I'll move as fast as I can move on this final section, and it's an important one. Is the break today 1 or 1:30?
1.
Let me move on, Mr. President, with your leave. Witness, you gave evidence on the 9th of October regarding an allegation that Mr. William Ruto received some money. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And it was your evidence that on the 3rd of January, and it's page 30 of the transcript, you arrived at Building 1 at 8 o'clock in the morning. Is that right?
Yes.
And you heard person 4 on the sheet in front of you speak to William Ruto. Is that right?
Yes.
And you heard person number 1 speak to person number 4 on the sheet in front of you, instructing number 4 that some money needed to be given to Mr. Ruto. Is that right?
Yes.
I'm going to read what you said after that. You said that there was an amount of money, this is line 21 of the transcript, page 30 of the 9th of October. There's an amount of money needed to be given to Mr. Ruto because by that time we were receiving reports from different places where the post-election had taken place. People were dying, and the party was also trying to help those people. Some of the people to move out, like Thika, you later added, people were being killed and supporters of ODM could move, and other places where the post-election was too much. So I heard him telling number 4, I'm adding that, number 4, to look for money and give it to Mr. Ruto for him to send the money to the people who were being attacked in the area to move. Do you remember saying that, witness?
I do.
And is that your recollection? Is that accurate?
Yes.
And witness, you later said at page 32 that the sum given was 300,000 shillings. Is that right?
From the information I had.
And it was to help to transport, let me read it, to help the youths to have transport to move from the most affected areas. Do you remember saying that?
Yes, I remember.
And that's your recollection, is it?
Yes.
So the money that was sent, according to you, to Jackson Kibor was to help them leave an area that was being attacked. Is that right? To move from that place.
Yes.
And your understanding was it was to move people from an affected area into safety. Is that right?
Yes.
To help the victims that were suffering. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, now that's clear. And just one thing, witness, and that's the only time that you heard Mr. William Ruto talking about money. That's the only time you heard a conversation, according to you, involving William Ruto and money. Is that right?
Yes.
So you misspoke. I'm not saying it's more than that. You misspoke when you told the prosecution yesterday at page 26 that you overheard a conversation about money on the 31st of December as well. You mean it was on the 3rd of January. Is that right?
Pardon?
you've just told the court that that occasion, the 3rd of January, was the only time you ever heard any conversation involving Mr. Ruto and the issue of money. And you agreed with me, is that right? And my next question was, when you told the court yesterday, at page 26 of the transcript, that conversation was on the 31st of December, that was a slip. That was an accidental slip-up. You meant it was the 3rd of January. Is that right?
After post-election was on.
Yes. So yesterday, when you said it was on the 31st of December, was that wrong? Did you mean the 3rd of January as being the only time when you heard such a conversation regarding money and William Ruto?
It was on 3rd.
I'm grateful.
Mr. Ken, let me, Mr. Witness, so we are clear on the record. On how many occasions did you hear a discussion about Mr. Ruto receiving money?
I meant the discussion I had after post-election was on, which was the date after 31st.
Just listen to my own question. I'm trying to recall in total on how many occasions did you hear. If it's only once, you can say that. If it's more than once, you can say that. On how many occasions did you hear any discussion about Mr. Ruto being given money?
Only that one.
Thank you.
I'm grateful. Witness, I'm putting it to you that your whole account about this money is also nothing but a complete tissue of lies. It's a complete fabrication, isn't it, witness?
A lie.
Your Honor,
You have to lean forward again, please. Thank you.
I have to go into private session for 30 seconds.
Private session, then